Should schools be mandated to do instruction on the January 6th insurrection? We know that this is a very politically charged event, and depending on who you ask, the details of that day are quite different. Well, one state is proposing legislation that would mandate instruction for school kids starting as young as 8 years old about the January 6th insurrection. Today, we're going to dig in. Hey everybody, I'm Julia Barrett and I'm the founder of Conservative Ladies of America, and I'm back again with another bill of the day. Today we are going to the state of New York, which isn't typically a place that we would go, but because these bad ideas that start in blue states can often spread to red states or purple states, and if you get the right kind of Republican, they can take root. And so this is an important issue that we thought was worthy of a video and letting you guys know about. So in New York, you've got Assembly Bill 3966 that's proposed by Assembly Member Charles Levine. This bill would seek to amend the state law, and it would then include a mandate to instruct school children age 8 and over about the January 6th insurrection of 2021. Now, I'm not going to use air quotes anymore on the word insurrection, but when I talk about it, I hope that's how you will interpret it. So what Assembly Bill 3966 would do is it would add the January 6th insurrection to a number of other topics that are mandated for instruction to school age kids, like patriotism. But is that happening? I know in Washington state, it's mandated to teach patriotism, but I also know that doesn't happen. I had 4 kids that went through Washington public schools. They also have a mandate for diversity and religious tolerance and a number of other things. And so the January 6th insurrection would be added to that list. Now, this bill covers students 8 years of age and older, not just at public schools, but also at private schools. The bill calls for age-appropriate discussions about the events of January 6th and when the mob stormed the Capitol to disrupt the certification of the 2020 presidential election and the subsequent legal, political, and social fallout. There would be materials like textbooks, videos, and other sources, probably left-wing social media sources and news sources and that sort of thing. The curriculum would cover the events leading up to the insurrection and the breach itself, as well as the aftermath, including the trials and committee hearings and all of that. School districts and private schools would then have to train their teachers on how they are to instruct on these events. It doesn't seem from the bill that the teachers would be able to teach based on their view of these events. So it would be a specific curriculum that the teachers were trained to teach on. For younger students, the focus would be more simplified, and when the students get older, they would get more into the nuanced and the more political aspects of the January 6th, 2021 events. Now, obviously, the primary concern with this is the political bias that is absolutely going to be put into this mandated instruction on the events of January 6th. I don't for one second think that this would be any kind of fair point. I think this is further indoctrination of school children, and I think the fact that they're not just applying this to the public schools, but also to the private schools is further proof that they want to indoctrinate the children and they want them to believe a certain narrative about the events of January 6th. I haven't looked at New York student test scores and student success measures, so I can't really speak to that, but I can say what we're seeing across the board in students across the country is that they already have a number of things that are mandated to them, and they're not succeeding in those core subject areas of English, math, and science. And one of the main reasons for that is because the schools have plugged in so much SEL and CRT and diversity stuff and all of these things that are put into a primary focus over core academic subjects, and pushing something like the J6 events into this mix is just more political indoctrination that is going to keep kids from mastering those core subjects that are necessary for them to get jobs and have a future and adult. Obviously, parents are going to have big concerns with this. If you have a parent who doesn't see it the way that the left likes to spin the events of January 6th, they're not going to want their kids to be indoctrinated in this way. So this is going to be a very divisive topic to put into the schools. This bill has been filed and it's been assigned to a committee. It has not had any kind of hearing or activity as of yet. It was filed at the end of January. I don't know how much traction this will have in New York. I don't know how much appetite the New York legislature has for a bill like this session, but it's definitely going to be one that we are going to be watching, primarily because this sort of thing doesn't just stay in one place. It is like a virus, and it will migrate first to other blue states that see this and think this sounds like a good idea, and then it'll eventually seep into red and purple states. So this is something that we need to watch. Now, I know a lot of people have very strong opinions about the January 6th events, and I would just be curious to hear from you. What are your thoughts on legislators wanting to mandate curriculum for teaching J6 in schools, not just public schools, but also private schools? And I think this is another thing that we're going to see more of in the years ahead, is wanting to mandate things for private schools and threatening to decertify them if they do not go along with state mandates, especially in the blue states. We're going to see a lot more of that. So I'd be curious what your thoughts are on this. Leave a comment down below and let us know what you think. I'll also have links to the bill so that you can go read it for yourself and dig into it and sign up to track it if you would desire. If you live in a blue state, could you see legislators in your state filing something similar, and does that give you concern? Would love to hear from you. Please be sure that you are subscribed to the channel and don't forget to share this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.